I have dealt with social anxiety for my entire life, as long as I can remember. And I'd like to think I've gotten a lot better with dealing with social interactions, hopefully. I am extremely old, pretty much ancient at this point. So I would hope that I've improved over the years of having to struggle with this. And I think that's mainly because of a lot of different factors relating to school, which is horrible because I hate school. I hate the, the idea of school in the way that I don't learn anything education wise, but socially, I think it's the greatest thing that ever happened to me. With my social anxiety, I have always had trouble talking to other people, obviously. I've always um had problems raising my voice in front of others and like trying to get my ideas across because I get really nervous. I get scared of people and my like heart will start to beat really fast anytime that I think a social interaction is coming up, or my face will get like really hot, and sometimes in very extreme cases I will feel like I have to throw up, and I think sometimes it leads to panic attacks, but thankfully that hasn't happened too many times in my life. But school has helped me kind of minimize kind of those effects, those I don't know the word that social anxiety does to me, because one thing that I think school is great for is forcing kids to interact socially with each other, whether it be one on one or like to a whole group. If you're forced to do like a group project with another kid, you know, you have to talk to them. That's kind of the whole point of it. And if you have to do a presentation, like the teacher's forcing you to do a presentation, otherwise you get a worse grade, which I usually always take the grade off. I usually, whenever it's an option, I take the worst grade because despite having grown, I am still very nervous when it comes to presentations. But I feel like the fact that you're kind of forced to do these things really helps, because if I were to not have school at all, if I had never gone to school, I would not be good at having social interactions at all. I wouldn't know how to start talking to people. I would just never know where to start. I would feel super nervous and scared, and I would never actually be able to talk to people. I lost my train of thought because of the mobs. Um, so I think that having an outside force, like a teacher, to push you into those social interactions is really helpful for me because if it were up to me, I would choose to never have a social interaction in my life. Which is not good. That's horrible. I wouldn't grow as a person. Obviously. But that would suck because I think that overcoming things and growing feels really good. Obviously. I say obviously a lot. It's because I'm not very confident in my ability to speak. But sometimes you don't have an outside force really that is forcing you to do things. And in those moments, I feel like a lot of the times in my life when my social anxiety was a lot worse, I would just sit around, not do anything. Like, my parents don't necessarily force me to have social interactions with people or anything like that. So, they usually, they're not necessarily helpful with that because they want me to be able to make that choice for myself. They want me to go out, talk to people of my own volition, which would be great if I were to actually choose to do that. An example is one thing that I'm terrified of in my life currently is going to one specific store that is directly across from my house. It is literally a 2-minute walk, and I am horrified of going there. I don't really, I didn't really know why for a while, but then, like, I put the pieces together really today, and I'm like, oh, I gotta stop doing that. The thing is, often my parents will ask me to go over there, buy something, get some snacks or a drink, whatever, for them. I can, get myself a little snack too. They'll let me like use their credit card or something. And I've never used a credit card in my life. I'm scared that I'm going to do it wrong because I've never done it. I know how it works, but I've never done it. I'm scared that I'm going to do it wrong. But like, how am I supposed to do it wrong? It's really easy. And I think it's kind of a dumb fear to have. My fear of going outside to this store is fully based around using a credit card because I'm scared that if I do it wrong, someone's going to make fun of me. But even if I do manage to mess it up, no one's going to make fun of me. Like, that's not something that anybody would realistically do. I really shouldn't have anything to be afraid of. Which is why recently I have pushed myself to actually listen to them go there when in the past I have pushed it on to my brother or made him come with me so that he could do it instead and making it seem like I'm helping him get over his social anxiety because he has it too, but it's he, I would say, has gotten over a lot of it. He's done well. He's done better than me. But I have started going by myself. I say started. It's really only been like one time, and it was like 3 months ago. So I haven't been asked to do this in a while. But I, went by myself. I bought some stuff. I grabbed some sodas. I got some ice cream for myself. I paid. I got out. Nobody made fun of me. Nothing really happened. And whenever I walked out, I felt great. I felt like I conquered my fears. When in actuality, I just, I didn't. Not even close. I did it one time, which is obviously still a step forward. Even the tiniest step forward is progress, and you should be proud of that. I should be proud of that. But I'm I also I still don't think that I am fully over it. Obviously, I did it one time. I'm not over my fear of going to this store by myself. But, if I do it enough times, I'll start to be able to actually do it without really feeling any fear, which would be a great day when it comes. It would be amazing. Another sort of social interaction that I have been scared of in my life is with my friends. Often when they would ask me to hang out, I would be terrified. I would be like, no, no, I don't want to go anywhere. Um, if I would be asked to go to a friend's house, I would be horrified. I would think internally, no, absolutely not. I'm not going. No. But I would think that so many other people are saying yes. They all want to, like, they're all having a thing. They all want to go to this person's house and have a hangout, play Magic the Gathering, and I'll think that, oh, this is gonna be horrifying. I'm gonna have to talk to so many people. It's gonna be terrible. But I'll feel like they'll be really sad if I don't go. So I'll eventually, after them talking about it, feel like I want to go. It's not necessarily my own choice. It's kind of just like I feel like other people want me to go, so I should. So it's like good peer pressure, kind of. But that was like many years ago. This is multiple years ago that I had this problem. Thankfully, because now, if not really now, but if my friends were to ask me to hang out at their house, I wouldn't even think twice about it. I wouldn't feel anxious at all. I would just be like, yeah, okay, that sounds like fun, which is great. That's progress. I've gotten over that fear fully, which feels great. It's something that I haven't even thought of before, like today as well. So, like, I've never seen it as a huge accomplishment when really in my quote unquote journey to get over my social anxiety, it is a huge stepping stone for me. And I am very proud of it. Now, I still am horrified whenever they ask me to go somewhere that isn't like a house. If they ask me to go to the mall, I'll be horrified. I'll say, no, absolutely not. and often will feel like I have to go and will still kind of be positively peer pressured into going. My friends will my friends know that I have social anxiety and want me to get over it. So they will sometimes have continuously asked me to go. Is I say sometimes, this maybe it happened once. Continuously asked me to go, and eventually I'll say yes. And then I have a fun time and it's great. So that's another part that I have not exactly fully gotten over yet, but I've taken a step because I said yes to going, and I went. So, oftentimes, for me at least, a great way to deal with my social anxiety is to have an outside force push me into or outside of my comfort zone, which I know I shouldn't fully rely on, which I haven't because I've gotten over a lot of my fears and have stopped needing the outside force in some places, which is great. But it's a great way to have like a little push to really get you to get going instead of having to start yourself, which is infinitely harder. So obviously I shouldn't nobody should fully rely on an outside force to push you out of your comfort zone all the time, force you to do things that you want to do but won't because you're too scared. But it's a great stepping stone in the right direction in getting over that fear. And this can apply to fears outside of social anxiety. This can really apply to any sort of fear. Mine, my specific example, though, being my social anxiety. Like, another one of my fears is crossing streets. I'm horrified of it, genuinely terrifying. But whenever I am walking outside with friends, I don't even think about it. I just follow them. They walk across streets, and I follow them, and I don't feel nervous. And that is a huge fear of mine. Another one, I'm terrified of the ocean. Whenever I go to the beach, my family goes in, I follow. They bring me out. The outside forces help me get me out of my comfort zone, and eventually I will hopefully be able to push myself out of my comfort zone. And obviously, you shouldn't push yourself out of your comfort zone all the time. Sometimes it can be bad, and that goes really without saying. You shouldn't force yourself to do things you're uncomfortable doing in certain situations or all the time. Just a little bit of progress makes it so much better. Like taking the tiniest step. Even if you have one social interaction a week that you are pushing yourself out of your comfort zone to do. Even if it's just once a week, even if it's just once a month, even if it's just once a year, you are not overexerting yourself. You shouldn't be overexerting yourself because that can lead to making it worse. And obviously, you can't always know if you're overexerting yourself, but I don't really have any tips for that. I just think you should try to take small steps instead of forcing yourself out too much. And that will hopefully stop you from pushing yourself out of your comfort zone too far. I know that throughout my life, I have grown a lot as a person. Compared to middle school me and elementary school me, I'm a lot better at talking to people. I'm a lot better in a lot of ways, and that is great. I'm also worse in a lot of ways, but that's fine. I can work on that. And I hope that as time goes on, I am able to continue improving because I'm not perfect. I still have trouble going to public places. I'm terrified of it, especially by myself. But I know that if I keep having friends, family, teachers, and people of the sort to help push me forward, that I will be able to eventually push myself into those situations and become better in social interactions. And my axe is broken, so I think that signifies the end of the video. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening to me rant about my fears of social anxiety, social interaction. I can't talk. Thank you for listening to me rant about my fear of social interaction. I hope that this rambling is able to help some people that are having similar problems or any problem that can be tied into that advice. It's pretty general, but I feel like even though it's obviously something that a lot of people know, there are a lot of people out there who do need to hear this kind of stuff and know there are things they can do. There are other people who are going through the same things. You're not alone. Anyways, thank you for watching. I still don't know how to do outros despite having 100 something videos on YouTube. But I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day. And goodbye.